issue and a rural county issue and just a Mendocino County issue, because it's really impacting farming communities and rural communities, and I've read a number of articles on it throughout the state. So I think that's where the critical mass is going to come from, is really getting together with other areas that are in a similar circumstance.
Thank you. Supervisor Kinsel.
Well, first of all, I'd like to remind the board we voted on a budget to not be a participant in RCRC anymore.
That's why I said for now.
But, you know, our other CSAC and our federal or our state legislative aspect and everything, it's really beyond that. So, like Mr. Hay said, the regulations in place, they're already ready to how they're going to regulate it. My point is, we just say, state, do what you want to do, but we're not going to be part of it. We're not recognizing that. And let them see what they say from there. And I'm sure once we do that, we're going to get a lot of counties that are going to get on board with it. Because, you know, it's time for, you know, they can, if they have an air quality problem in LA, then let them deal with it. But don't put a rule that's going to affect us just as much up here as them down there. They do have air quality problems. And there is, but we're not one of them. So why should we be lumped in the same rules? This is a state rule. We just have to put our foot down and say enough is enough. We talk about this board since I've been on this board. It's continually talk about, well, the state put this on us, the state put this on us. But we just kind of lay back and take it. This is an issue that is so important. Probably it makes the other issues, like having to build a animal shelter, pale in comparison, although the board's been $1 million to do that. You know, that issue was pale in comparison to this state mandate. We just, number one, we can't do it. Let's face it. Do you think everybody that has a farm tractor or everybody in business, stuff has to go on? You know, we have to go on. So the realization of it, to put 250,000 trucks off the road, is that really a realization? Everybody wants air quality, that's not the problem. But it's the way to do it. You know, phase it in over at least a 10, 15-year period, so when a guy goes and buys a new truck, it'll be a meeting. But you just don't cut everybody off immediately. And the only way, because the legislation's there, the governor, it has been stated, they're going to implement it. We're down that road. We're past that. We can say, well, we should have fought it a year or two ago. Well, I don't think anybody realized, people I talked to for the last year, so they say, well, the state's not going to go forward with that. That's so ridiculous. They're not going to go forward with that. And that's been everybody's attitude, including mine. But it's not happening that way. So we just got to say enough is enough, and we're not going for it. And I'm sure we'll be surprised at how much we're going to get other counties to go behind us. But some of these, you know, it's nice to wait on, say, for Humboldt County or Trinity County or one of those counties saying, well, let's start the process. I don't see that happening. So let's take the lead on this. Let's do what's right.
Thank you, Supervisor. Any other comments from the board?
Well,
Supervisor.
I think if we're going to do this, then we should be going to CSAC in December and getting out and saying it in big groups and being mad about it, and not simply standing around hoping that we're too late, we're going to stand up and say we're not going along with it. That's not going to help Bill get out on the road. He'll get fussed every time he does, and be looking at a bunch of big fines and confiscation of his equipment. But I think here, if we're going to be talking about doing anything at this point, RCRC makes glaciers look like they're 4-minute milers. And so I am concerned here about pulling that, but the only way we're going to get attention to this and make an impact would be at CSAC in some of the plenary sessions and stand up and say, this is important to do and so forth. Would this board authorize this? Would this board be embarrassed by it? For us to go forward with this? I don't know. But I think here, any of these little channels that we talk about going to, those out there going to the meetings, what are the results? And I think in that particular sense here, we have to start talking about things we are not going to do, but we have to be talking about the people we pay to represent, the people we elect to represent rural areas. And I don't think diddling around in an RCRC meeting in Reading or Ukiah or anywhere else is going to carry us very far, because we have to go really to where the trouble is. And that would be going to CSAC and dealing with it at the annual convention and embarrassing the hell out of CSAC for not representing rural areas, embarrassing the rural caucus for not addressing these things in a systematic fashion, maybe they've addressed it, but I'm sure it's been very careful, very properly addressed. But are you mad enough to go there and do that, though? Are you mad enough to go there and speak as somebody in the community? I don't know, but it seems like that is the thing that will have an impact, rather than just putting Bill out on the road and saying, tell them when they stop you, supervisors don't support what you guys are doing.
Supervisor Bell.
Well, I don't want anybody to think that, and since CSAC was brought up, that those efforts haven't gone on. What we have is a director, is a chair of the board who just doesn't give a damn. That's what it boils down to. It comes down to staff. No, not CSAC. They are board.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, not the chair sitting next to you.
No. But you have, I mean, that's what it is. It's the chairman of the Air Resources Board that doesn't give a crap about the rural counties and the impacts.
Yes.
She has a goal, and she had it when she was the resources secretary. She's got it now. She does not belong there. I'm sorry, I'll say it and say it again. She doesn't belong there. It's a political appointment, and it's a shame, but that's what we've got. And it's a be damned, I'm going to get my agenda through. And the meetings have occurred, Supervisor Colfax, and the efforts have occurred, and they've been damn good efforts. But as Mr. Day can tell you, when you have a